Hey, how you guys doing? I'm X. Yeah, as you can see, I put a lot of stuff on this map to show you guys examples of stuff. Um, so on the last episode, I put redstone that you need to know based on a lot of the comments I got. So based on what you guys commented on in the last video, I thought I should probably change the title of this to redstone that you guys want to know. Um, so the main thing that people asked for was how do comparators and hoppers work. Um, I did get some other questions too, like how do you fix old monostables? So I just wanted to go ahead and answer that because it was the first comment. And this is a very old school version. Um, yeah, I'd tell you how it works and why it doesn't work, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you that just simply placing a block over the torch makes it a controlled torch burnout, which can make your silent monostables still work and give you a perfect one-tick pulse because it actually controls the torch burnout. And that's actually how you get them to work. Another question I got was why don't I use something like this, which is basically a silent T flip-flop. Um, this was probably the most compact one I found. Um, the reason why I hadn't used them is that there was a lot of issues with repeater lock when they first introduced it. Some of them would create monostable pulses, some of them wouldn't. They were orientational and so on. This one seems to be pretty reliable and it's been out for a while, so I would say you could probably go ahead and use it. But myself, the reason why I don't use those particular devices, for instance, this is a pistonless monostable that doesn't use anything, just repeater lock. Um, I don't know, I mean, this has worked for about since the 1.7. So yeah, I mean, chances are it'll continue to work as a monostable or pulse generator. Um, but this has always worked. I also like the fact that when I hit my button to my door, I can hear it before the door opens. I don't know if you guys have ever made a contraption and then you went to hit the button and it didn't work, and then you have to like uncover your T flip-flop, uncover your device, and figure out what happened to it. I've had people mining near stuff I made and broke out some redstone off the T flip-flop, but I had uncovered the entire contraption just to discover it was one piece of redstone on that. So if I hit the button and I don't hear that, then I know that something's busted on it. So that's why I don't use silent ones. I like to actually hear my monostables working. That way, if there was ever a problem, it's a lot simpler to diagnose the problem. So let's just go right into hoppers. Um, so hoppers don't require power to move items. I'm sure you guys may or may not know it, but if I was to drop any items in this and power it, it's not going to allow the item to go into the powered hopper. So yeah, with power it holds the item, without power it doesn't. A lot of people don't know too is that hoppers, if they have another hopper facing any direction, that it'll automatically put it in the closest slot available. So when I turn this off, you'll actually see that it doesn't travel along here and go in here. It actually will get automatically detected and put into this right here. I think that was quick. Let me try that again. It's because I have a double chest. So if you guys don't know either, if you have two hoppers, it automatically divides the stack, stacking more items so it makes it faster by putting two hoppers underneath instead of a single. But as we can see here, it's moving it into the lowest chest. And it's a very simple way to make a mass storage. So you could like send a minecart here, offload your stuff, and then send it back using the comparator to compare items or so on. So yeah, so a full comparator, a full hopper with 5 stacks in it will give you a signal strength of 15. And it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter, like, it's not about, like, say, for instance, 10 items would give you a signal strength of 1. So basically what it does is it kind of rounds it off. So this has 5 stacks in it, so if I was to divide this in half, it drops 2, a signal strength of 2 off of it. And it would do the same if I remove 2 stacks, from a full chest. So yeah, and if it was a double chest, it would be like something like three stacks in order to get the signal strength to drop by 1. So yeah, it just compares the signal, or compares the items in chests. It also can compare signal strength, which I really didn't want to get into, but for those of you that don't know, signal strength, a redstone torch gives you a signal strength of 15. So that's what we have here. We have a representation of this giving us a full signal strength of 15 all the way to the end, and then beyond 15 we don't get anything. So yeah, so it can compare that. So if this has 3 inputs, it's got A, B, and C, and you can use these to compare redstone signals from the sides. So if I have, for instance, I'll show you on this one, a signal strength of 15 minus 2 for 13, and then this side is stronger, it will automatically shut off the comparator, so it won't allow the signal through. You can also use this in the reverse, meaning if we put it on, go ahead and show you, it's on compare mode right now. Now it's on subtract mode. When it's on subtraction mode, I can actually give it a signal strength of, say, 14 or 13. So I'm powering this here, so it's a signal strength of 13, which gives me 1. So it subtracts mode. So it subtracts, 13. Actually, I think that's actually, let's see, that's 1. 2 minus from that leaves me with 1. So yeah, subtraction mode. And then it can work, just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how hoppers and comparators work. I could go into a lot more details about this. Some of the things I will show you though is that if you have power coming from the output, you can see that this strobes. And the reason why it actually strobes is because the signal strength, I'll go ahead and show you. It only gives me a signal strength of 1, and then when, of course, as soon as this loops back around, it's a signal strength of 2, so it minuses it, causing it to give you a pulse like this. So, which is pretty cool to make magic buttons. I will say if you have too many of these, they are laggy. They do take up 10 chunks when they're running. When they're off, it's nothing. If you were looking for a magic button that's a lot less laggy, you could use a simple hopper clock. So 2 hopper clocks basically kissing each other like this. They're connected to each other. It just takes the item and it puts it from one side to the other. So when I depower this, you'll see that it starts giving me a 1-second timer, which I could also use for, basically a magic button or whatever. So yeah, knowing that it automatically moves items when there's when there's no power given, and when there's power given to it, it automatically doesn't move it. It's basically really all there is to know about them. This is an example I was going to show you in this video too, is how you could basically make a simple, say I connected this little system to that mass storage, and I was down below in my mine, and I loaded this minecart up with, say, some cobblestone, and then I send it up. I can send it up, and then this automatically starts taking the items out of here, and then when it's done, it's going to turn this torch on, and then the comparator is going to kick this block up, giving me a signal like that. Just a little simple device, but it's something I thought I could use. I could have it like on the top of the world and have my minecarts running to it if I was building like a huge slime farm and I didn't want to make like 20 trips. I could actually just use the minecarts like this. Just some simple stuff. Something else you guys may or may not know either is that comparators cannot get repeater lock, which would basically be like this. If these were repeaters, it would never shut off. I have an example right here for you. So I powered this once with a torch, and it won't shut off. Just to show you guys. But this one, it actually stores up the signal In a sense, this actually is kind of like a capacitor, because the signal strength will give you, it'll go up to 15 when I give it power, and then when I decrease it, you'll slowly see that the power slowly dies down. So I don't actually understand why it does that, but I do know you can do things like this. This is basically a old school version of a pulse extender. So a button only gives me 10 ticks, but what if I wanted it to be 30 ticks long? And I didn't want to use a T flip-flop or anything. This is what I usually use to open up doors with, because it's just simple and it's pistonless. So yeah, you can do the same exact thing with this device, get the same amount of time and everything. You know, and it's a lot cheaper having two comparators because it holds the signal, the 10 ticks, as long as these 10 repeaters. So yeah, if you needed a pulse extender longer than a button, that would definitely be the way to go. So that's actually how item sorters are used, by powering the bottom hopper. These blocks cannot drop in, and the way that hoppers work is that it always removes the items on the left side first. So if I was to drop in, say, some buttons into this, it's going to look for a slot, and if it finds a slot that matches, then it'll allow the item to fill up here. So if I was to put in something that didn't belong, say some redstone lamps, it's going to look for a slot. It only accepts sticky pistons here, or sandstone, which if I was to put sandstone in this, it would bust it. And then of course you can see that it's just putting it in the overflow. So this is really good for like mob collection systems and stuff. The other things you can do with hoppers as well is you can actually collect items through bottom slabs, and you can also collect them through carpet. So if you're trying to camouflage the fact that you had you know, an item collector here for a mob system, or maybe you wanted to decrease the amount of damage they were getting, you could still have a mob fall and die here and it would still collect the items, which is pretty cool. And they'll all just collect down in here. That is all the time I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Hopefully that covers the basics about how it is. To be all honest, the best way to learn about comparators and hoppers is to use them. So anyway, like I said, comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good one. Later.